I made a video there a few weeks ago, only about 2 weeks ago, and it was very, very popular. And it was called My Nightmare Experience, or My Nightmare as Residential Tenancy, even after winning my RTB, my Residential Tenancies Board case. So the video was My Nightmare Residential Tenancy, even after winning my RTB case, and it was very, very popular. A lot of views and a lot of likes and so on. In fact, you'll see on the screen there 603 likes of the video and 12,000 views in a matter of days. So very successful video, lots of views, lots of likes. However, you'll see on the screen as well that YouTube took down the video because they said that it was in violation of the YouTube's policy on harassment and bullying. And the reason for that was because as I went through the decision from the Residential Tenancies Board and explained the decision and so on, the tenant and the tenant's address was identifiable. So this is in violation apparently of YouTube's policy on harassment and bullying. However, the ironic thing here is that the RTB decision is a matter of public record. It's on the RTB website, and if you head over to the RTB website and look for the determinations section and do a search for my name, for example, Terry Gorry, you'll actually find the case and you'll find the identity of the individual and you'll find the address and so on and so forth. So it's a matter of public record. It's a matter of public record, it's in the public domain, and anybody, quite frankly, can find the decision and read through it. But I was reading through it as part of the video, and YouTube decided that they were going to remove the video because it was in breach of their policy about harassment and bullying, which is fair enough. So the video was removed, but I thought that there was a good lesson there for people who are thinking about buying properties, doing buy-to-let, investment properties, small landlords. For those people, I think there's valuable lessons there because of the difficulty I've had, notwithstanding the fact that I won my RTB case and the number of times that I've now been in the district court and so on. There's a lot of valuable stuff there for people. So I've made this video, I've re-edited the video, the original video. I'm going to re-edit it. I'm going to blank out as best I can any indication, any possible identification of the individual and the address, and that's this video. So I have to re-upload it, and that's what this is part of. So I hope you find it useful. If you do, I'd appreciate if you hit the thumbs up button down below. Thanks a lot. I made a video there last week about the new residential letting, residential tenancies laws that are coming into effect in Ireland from March 2026. There are significant changes coming in. And one of the questions that's popped up there when I published the video and released it on various platforms was, is it a good idea to be a residential landlord now, or is it a good activity or game or investment to be involved in? And I had to think about it. Now, I have a number of residential properties which are let, and one or two of them are working out very well, and I have very good, very decent tenants who pay the rent, and it is a seamless, hassle-free investment, and they are working out very, very well. But for every one or two that's working out well, you can always have a complete lemon. You could have one that's going to drag down everything and really make you wonder, is it worth your while at all or not? And in this video, I'm going to explain to you and tell you a story that you're going to find hard to believe, but it's to do with a residential letting, a residential tenancy that's gone wrong, and which has cost me a great deal of money and is still costing me money, notwithstanding the fact that I have done everything properly from a legal perspective. And when I say that, I mean, I firstly went to, and I'm going to switch on this other video now. Okay, firstly you'll see on the screen there this decision of the Residential Tenancies Board. So I did everything correct and proper and lawful, and I brought a complaint to the Residential Tenancies Board about a tenant in this residential letting of mine at 30 Mustard Oaks in Edwardstown in Longford. This guy hadn't paid me rent for something like 12 months up to the point of the hearing. So when the hearing came around, it was held on the 22nd of October 2024, as you can see there. The tenant didn't show up, and I was looking for, as you can see there, rent arrears and overholding, but I would have just settled for overholding and got a determination that I was entitled to get my apartment back. He didn't show up, I made the submissions, and basically the finding of the Residential Tenancies Board adjudicator was, except on the balance of probabilities, that arrears of rent of 8,400 are due and owing on the 22nd of October 2024. So 2024, 22nd of October 2024, there's 8,400 rent. In addition to that, she says that the notice of termination with a service date of June 24 was served by the applicant landlord upon the tenant, that's me, and bottom line is it's a valid notice of termination. So the determination then is the termination notice was valid. The tenant shall pay the sum, as you can see there, of 8,400 euros to the landlord within 56 days of the issue of this order, and the respondent tenant shall continue to pay rent at 1,000 per month, and that he is, as you'll see there at number 2, the respondent tenant and all other persons residing in the above dwelling shall vacate and give up possession of that dwelling within 14 days of the date of the issue of the determination order. And the determination order, as you can see there, is, well, it came out maybe a week or two later, but the hearing was held on the 22nd of October 2024. So I was entitled, A, to possession of my premises within 14 days, assuming that he didn't appeal it and he never engaged at all, and B, I was entitled to 8,400 euros at that time, October 24, and it was accumulating at 1,000 euros a month. Of course, I served the determination order, and of course he didn't bother his arse, quite frankly, moving out. And now in September 2025, he's still there. And so what did I do then in the meantime? Well, let me explain what I did in the meantime. I did again what's supposed to be done lawfully, and I'm a solicitor, so I have to abide by the law and adhere by the law. I know there's plenty of people going to make comments underneath this video online, in Facebook, YouTube, elsewhere, as to how they deal with it. But I'm a solicitor and I must abide by the law, adhere to the law, and that's what I did. So you'll see on the screen there was an October 24 RTB hearing. You'll see that the determination order from the RTB came out in November 2024. I then went to the district court in Longford in March 2025 to enforce the determination order, because he didn't move out and he's living there with a buttload of cats and somebody else. And I went to the district court in Longford in March 2025, and my application was unsuccessful. Why? Because in the course of the determination order, in the body of it, there is a mistake made by the RTB where they, rather than putting in number 30 in one of the paragraphs, they put in 31 or 32 or number 3 or something like that. Now, it's clearly a typographical error, it's clearly a mistake, and clearly we're talking about number 30 Mustard Oaks, and yet for that reason the judge wouldn't grant the order to get your man out. So we went back to the RTB and we said, look, you've made a mistake with the RTB order. There's a mistake here in paragraph 7 or whatever paragraph it was. Clearly it's a mistake. You've said number 31, it's number 30. And they told us that they don't have the power to change the order because there's no provision in the legislation. So we then schlepped back to court in May 2025, told the judge this, and she wasn't happy then with something else. she wasn't happy that your man was served or something of that nature. So then it was adjourned to July 2025, as you can see there on the screen, and for some reason she wasn't happy then either. She adjourned it then to September 2025, and we were back in last week. And when I say we were back in last week, I wasn't actually there. I've instructed counsel. So each time I have a barrister going in to make the application, to move the application, to get the order, to get your man out. Each time it's costing me money because I have to pay the barrister and your man is not showing up. But in September 2025, last week, the judge was off. There was a different judge in, and that judge wouldn't touch it because the other judge had what's called session of it, or possession of the bloody thing, and so he wouldn't make any order. So he has now adjourned the case back to December 2025. So I have to wait another 3 months. I have to serve your man again with the order or with notice of the hearing in December 25. So I had to serve him with the determination order, served him with the March hearing in the district court, the May hearing, the July hearing, the September hearing, and now the December hearing. I'm going to have to instruct counsel again to go into the district court and hope that this time the judge will make an order to enforce the determination order from the RTB. That, as you can see, is a nightmare. And let's face it, even if I'm successful in getting the December or getting the determination or the district court order in December, how am I going to enforce it? Is your man going to pay any heed to it? Am I going to need to get the bailiffs? Am I going to need to get the county registrar? Am I going to need to employ somebody to try to enforce it? It is a nightmare. And I, meanwhile, am losing rent. This fella hasn't paid rent for over 2 years. I'm paying counsel to go to the court, the district court in Longford, March, May, July, September, December. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, he's living high on the hog in my apartment. I have no rent for 2 years. And remember, in October 24, the RTB found that I was owed 8,400 in rent. It's accumulating at €1,000 a month, and there's absolutely nothing in it for me except I'm hemorrhaging cash because I'll have to pay the barrister who is making the applications. So to answer the question in relation to whether getting into residential lettings is a good thing or not, especially with the law changing from March 2026, it's hard to see how a small landlord could put up with or stomach this sort of thing, quite frankly. And from March 2026, it's actually going to be worse. Now, having said that, I have a couple of good tenants in a couple of nice properties. They're working out okay. But for every 1 or 2 or 3 good ones, you could have one bad one that just makes a complete hames of the whole thing. Anyway, hope you find the video useful and instructive, and I hope if you're a small landlord you see the difficulty that it's not just getting a decision from the Residential Tenancies Board that is a game changer for you. You can get that decision, but it's not enforceable without the district court making an order. If the tenant sits tight and stays there and ignores it, you actually, the RTB then, their hands are washed completely of the situation. They've done the adjudication, they've made a determination, they've issued it, and that's it. They have no responsibility to get your tenant out of your property. So it's up to you then to schlep off to the district court and get an order to enforce the Residential Tenancies Board decision in your favour, and that's assuming it was in your favour, and that's assuming that there was no issue around the actual validity of the notice, the quit notice. So that is obviously a nightmare, and it's still going on. It's September the 24th today, 2025, and I have to wait now until December 2025 and hope to God that the judge will give the order that we are entitled to, pay the barrister again, and then try to enforce it to get your man out. Hope you find the video useful. If you do, hit the thumbs up button down below. Thanks a lot.